Hi everyone, thank you for clicking on this video. I'm going to share with you my December daily spread for day 10. So if you're new here, hello, welcome, it's lovely to have you here, and to everyone who's been here for a while and keeps coming back, thank you very much. Your support, your continued support is just fantastic. Really appreciate it. So if you haven't guessed already, we went to see Santa tonight. My son and I went to see Santa. Obviously my daughter's isolating, so she couldn't come with us. We went to see Santa and it was actually a really good evening. I was surprised by how normal it felt and how similar it's been. I mean, we wouldn't normally go to this place to see Santa. It's just one of the very few places around here that were offering the Santa experience. So we went here. I had been here years ago, my daughter was little, and we went and did like the little Winter Wonderland walk, the little train ride and all the rest of it. And they still did all that this year. You know, that they cleaned everything in between, so the ride took longer obviously, but you know, it was actually really good, really like joyful. So I was very pleased with that, and my son enjoyed it as well. So anyway, I stuck the photo of my son with Santa on the back side of that Ho 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 page. I knew that I wanted to stick that photo on there, and to be honest, I didn't even think we'd get a photo with Santa today. But they had a perspex screen between him and, you know, whoever's visiting him, so Finn could stand next to him still, and the screen didn't like intrude too much in the image. I would normally get in the photo with him, but because I've got a mask and everything on, honestly I didn't want to have a photo of me in the mask, so I just let Finn stand with him instead. So I just added it in with some regular photo corners, and I just glued a little bit in the centre to hold the image in place really well. So this Santa is from the Santa Claus book. It's a golden book, and it's just a really nice book. Some really lovely images in this book. So I was toying with this side of the page and the other side. I really like this side. I like how Santa looks. I like that he's a bit more commanding on the page. He doesn't just get, you know, lost in it. So I put him down. And because of where that little half page is on the right, you can see it's slightly shorter. So that bottom bit I'm just covering up with a bit of red sparkly washi. I didn't need to cover it up, it was fine as is, but I've got red sparkly washi, so it just makes sense to add it. It's the long and short of it. So I'm just having a strip of that at the bottom because, well, you just can't have too much sparkle at Christmas, can you? And I'm going to sew around this Santa to make it look like a pocket. It just kind of highlights the fact that it is a pocket. So to be able to give myself a guide, I'm just using my nail there to push it into the crease, and then as I'm sewing I can clearly see where the fold is going to be, so I know exactly where to sew, and that just makes it a little bit easier. Yeah, and then I'll glue it onto the pocket with some tacky glue. So you can see I'm gluing around just where the stitching is, and I'm going to glue on that little flat bit that will go on to the next page as well, so I can stick it all down in one go. And just as a side note, I'm glad you appreciated yesterday a bit more of a simpler spread. A few of you left some nice comments. I did mention in yesterday's video that I wasn't really feeling doing that spread, and I wasn't. It wasn't a bad thing. I wasn't having a particularly bad day. I was just not in the mood, simply. So, you know, I just wanted to I wanted to make sure I mentioned that when I was doing the video, to kind of say that, you know, when you're doing this kind of thing and doing a challenge, it is exactly a challenge, and it's because of those days that make it a challenge to do it every day. So I'm glad you took that well and kind of understood what I was trying to say, and that it inspired you to do some simpler spreads instead of just not doing anything at all. Because I think that's when you kick yourself, then you get lost, you get a backlog of it, and you've got 2-3 days to catch up on, and oh, that's when I'd lose the will to want to do it, if I'm honest. And I had 3 or 4 days to catch up. I did it the first year I did it, 2018 I did it for the first time, and it was, I think, February before I actually finished it. So it was the last week of December that I find the most challenging in particular, because we just don't do anything then. I'm not feeling particularly festive at that time. I'm looking forward to the new year in that week. So yeah, that's my challenging week. So anyway, I'm blabbering on. I had these photos and I was unsure as to how to add them. I did have loads more photos, but again I was unsure as to what I was doing with the pictures, so I just picked my favourite ones. One of my son with Santa, and this Santa was telling a story, so it's quite a nice little image, and then the one of the train and Santa's at the front with his reindeer, so I added those two images in. And I've got this clear little wallet. I've used these before, and I got these from the antique shop. I bought some vintage postcards, and each postcard comes in its own little wallet. So I keep them, and they come in handy for things like this. You could use a multitude of things though. You could use a plastic wallet and just cut it down to size, glue it around the edge, use a fuse tool if you have a fuse tool, sew it. I would probably go with sewing it because it's much quicker and easier. You could use the little treat bags where they're printed, which I would have gone with over one of these had I had something like that. So I'm just stapling at the top here, nice and simple. Again, I can't sew it because the book's together, but you could put a sewing line in there and then glue it down to make it look like it's sewn onto the page. I'm happy with just a couple of staples though, to be honest. It flips up nice and easy. So originally I was going to add the photos on the back of this Santa hat paper and then have my text on that snowy page, but you can see I've just swapped that round and I'm having the text on that Santa hat paper, which looks brilliant, and I put the photos on the opposite page and that goes in that pocket nicely. I've had that Santa hat paper floating in my journal since I put the journal together because I knew I wanted to use it on the Santa spread. So as my daughter couldn't come with us, I thought it'd be a nice treat on the way home to pick up a McDonald's, so she got a bit of a treat tonight as well. And this sort of Christmas tree branches design is from the bag that the food came in, and it was from the top of the bag where it wasn't greasy, because there's actually a really nice sort of sparkly looking bauble on the bag which I liked, and I would have probably kept that to use as like a border, but it had like grease on it from the fries, so I couldn't keep that. So these two little sprigs here I just tore off the bag and I'm just adding those in the two top corners. I feel that this year I'm not really, normally I'm collecting a lot of things as I'm going along, so like tickets and brochures and little bits of packaging and things like that, and just because we're not really going anywhere this year, we're not going out to collect things, we're not picking things up on the way, because it's just obviously a lot more things are digitalised now, and so anything like this, like the McDonald's paper bag, I'm all over that, I'm keeping it. But you can't tell that's what it is, but I know that's what it is, and I like it for the fact that it looks nice, and I also like it for the fact that it's relevant to this spread. And instead of cutting that top bit off, I'm just going to fold it back on itself onto the previous spread. And you can see there that I've done that, and that just makes it a little bit neater at the top as well. And because it's quite a thin bag, if you don't cut it perfectly to the top, you end up with it lifting, so it's just a little bit neater, and it would be a bit more hard wearing to fold it over. That's what I'm trying to say. So this little bauble, I needed to wrap some presents because I haven't actually wrapped any presents yet. So I thought, right, I need to get on it. I decided I'm going to make my tags this year. So these little bauble tags I made with my Cricut, and I'm just adding one into my journal as a little tab for this journaling card. And I will eventually add some red and white baker's twine to make it look like a proper little tag. I think that's really effective, and that green I think really lends itself to this page, that green sparkle, because it's very red and blue heavy, so the green just kind of warms it up a bit, and I think ties it down. Just, you can see there, I think it needed the bauble, right? And out come my red stickers. Everyone comments on my red stickers. I love these. I really underestimated how good and how effective these would be on my spreads, so I'm going to have to pop and get some more, I think, before they sell out, before they put them all away for the year. These stickers I've had forever, and I'm just going to add the Father Christmas one on the red washi at the bottom. I just need to use these up, to be honest, and it's relevant to this spread, so I added it. So all I've got to do now is add the number 10. The number 10 did get a little bit lost on this page because it's very red heavy, especially at the bottom there where I'm going to add the number. So I pulled out a bit of holly, ephemera, and I just added it on the 0. And it kind of helps that number to pop out from the page and doesn't just get lost. And that is it for this spread, and I hope you like it. I love it. I love how it's come together. It's not how I imagined it at all. It's better than I imagined it would be, and I love it when that happens, so that's just a win for me. And just to kind of explain, I'm going to show you a quick flip in a second. I've added a Christmas Carol songbook cover into, so just after this page, so in between this one and tomorrow's spread, there's this songbook cover, and it is an additional page. I'm not going to do anything on that page. I just really like the imagery, and I just wanted to include it in my journal. And then going on from that as well, I have a photo. I did a photo of my journal. I held it up in front of my Christmas tree with the lights on, took a photo of it, printed it on some photo paper, and I've just added it in on, so the back side of this little smaller page, you'll see in a second. And that's just, again, an additional image that I've added into my journal. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you like it. I hope you tune in for tomorrow's. So until then, take care, and I'll speak to you then. Bye.